She's like the granny that kind of looks after me. You know, if I have a problem when I'm in the saddle, if I kind of throw myself out of balance a bit, she'll kind of stop and wait for me and look after me, and she really kind of nannies me and makes sure I'm okay. But we also have a lot of fun. She's a really lovely horse as a personality.
Daisy is a sensitive horse who's adapted to Evie's riding style and Evie's condition. Most riders guide the horse with their legs, but Evie has no sensation from the knees down, as she was born with a form of Spina Bifida. It affects her balance, but that doesn't stop her from riding Daisy. It also impairs Evie's bladder and bowel function, so she uses urinary catheters to empty her bladder.
I'm quite organised with it, and I try and just keep really, really clean with everything. So I'm really lucky when we go to shows, there's usually toilets and stuff. So as long as I time it, and I usually do every 2 hours when I'm show jumping, because me and my nerves get really bad as well. So I try and stay off the coffee and just manage myself a bit, and then just jump off the horse, give it to mum, and then I can go into the lorry or into the toilet and do my catheter within a few minutes and get back on. So it does work really well, and it means I can do what I love doing, which is great.
As an infant in nappies, Evie's bladder problems went undetected. As she grew, her parents suspected there might be an issue.
I was quite shocked, I think, when they said, we need to start catheterisation. I think we were still hiding behind nappies because a lot of children are in nappies very young. So I didn't really think about it. I just thought, that's for other people.
After getting used to the idea, they went about preparing Evie for catheterisation. The training at the hospital went well, but they weren't prepared for what came next.
We came home and Evie then realised, as did I, that this wasn't a one-off. This was every 3 hours from when she woke up in the morning, which could be sort of 7 or 8 times a day. She was battling hard then, and it was a case of trying to keep her still, kindly, without restraining her too much, let her accept it. But 3-year-olds are difficult anyway, so imagine inflicting that on a 3-year-old and then taking an hour to do it and then thinking, oh my God, in 2 hours' time, I've got to do all this again. I couldn't cope. I can honestly say I could not cope.
But things did get better as Caroline found little tricks to make the catheterisation easier for Evie.
I remember racking my brains thinking, I must come up with something. How can we get her to accept this? So initially when Evie was on the floor and wouldn't keep still, I was stuck at home on my own. I didn't have any help and was really in quite an emotional state at times. Evie loved music. She loved Kylie Minogue at the time. So I bought a set of headphones, put them on her and played the Kylie Minogue music. And every time she moved, I turned it off.
So then the only way I could kind of get it done is I'd have my song on, and if I stayed still, my song would carry on. So it kind of worked like that. I love Kylie Minogue an awful lot, so it kind of worked well.
And it actually brought a little bit of fun to things, and she associated it and called it her magic music, and it worked.
Catheterisation became a part of their lives, and a couple of years later, Evie wanted to try it on her own.
She was actually only about 5 years old. She was wanting to become more independent. She's always had a really independent streak. And the thing we did was, at the time, the game, the Nintendo Wii, had come out. And this sounds crazy, but my idea then at the time was thinking, if you can do this, we will get a Wii. A Wii for a Wii, if you like. That was how we coined it. That was what we laughed about. Well, she did it straight away. And I'm like, right, come on, straight down the shops. We need to get this Wii. So there's quite a lot of significance to this Nintendo Wii that we have. But she cracked it, yeah.
I actually really enjoyed doing it on my own and getting a bit of independence again, which meant that I didn't have to be with mum all the time and I could kind of have a little bit more freedom. And that was the first kind of sense of freedom that I really got. So it was great to be able to do it. And it was a big achievement for me as well, because I'd had it for over 2 years and then I could slowly do it myself. And I knew that this was something I was going to do my whole life. So I was actually really excited about it.
So how can a parent make it as easy as possible for their child to catheterise?
I think it's about finding things that child loves doing in life. For us, I was involved with horses. Evie loved ponies, and she loved riding that much that she would want to get out the way anything that she had to do so that we could go to the stables. Or if we were at the stable, she wanted to get any procedures done so she could get back to riding and patting the pony, playing with her friends. So I felt like I got a tool I could use, that I could say, well, I'm sorry, you can't do that until we've done your care, or we need to get this done quite quickly so that we can get back to having some fun time. So I would really advise anyone to find something that your child loves doing. Hopefully not too expensive. Unfortunately, horses are, but it's still been worth the input. But any hobby or creativity that your child loves, that they are so engaged in, they want to do whatever, they want to find a way to do whatever they're dealing with.
I think because I've had it so long, I've always accepted it, and I'm really grateful for the fact that how my life is thanks to it and what I can do now. Like, I can show jump, I can go to school, and there's so many things about me that are completely normal that I can do normally because I catheterise now. Whereas if I don't, I'd just be in nappies all the time, and, you know, I wouldn't be able to wear leggings or dresses or stuff like that.
Being a teenager can be hard even without the challenges that Evie faces. But she's decided to be open about her bladder and bowel problems.
As a young person, it's really hard to be dealing with something and not telling people, because it's always kind of secretive and it's hard. Whereas for me, being open is just so much easier, and people are a lot more understanding when they know the problem. So for me, it was a lot easier just to be open about it, and then for people to accept me. And it made my life a lot easier with dealing with it, and I got a lot more help from friends. If I have a problem at any point, they'll take me to the toilet and go, "You've had a problem," if I don't always know. So for me, it's a lot easier with that, as opposed to my friends not knowing and be, "Why has she done that?" And not. It helps me just with friends and situations like that and social events.
Being able to ride allows Evie to travel, and it's a big part of her social life. It also acts as a form of physiotherapy. It provides so many benefits. And even the lack of sensation in her legs, nor her bladder function, will get in the way of Evie training or competing.
It means a lot to me in so many different ways. For me, it's just something that keeps me going throughout any issues. So if I'm in hospital, or if I'm poorly or trialling a new treatment, I know that I have to do it to then get out and do what I love. So it's something that I want to do so much that nothing else really matters as long as I can do it. It's worth everything that's in the way.
It taught her to cope with difficult days as well, because horses don't always cooperate. Sometimes if she was competing, as she grew up and got into competing, show jumping, sometimes the horse just doesn't play ball. Sometimes she has gone in the ring and fell off before she's even gone through the start because the horse has played up. And she's had to pick herself up and think, there's another day, things can get better. And I think she's been able to bring that into her personal life as well, and make her realise that in any aspect of life, there are big challenges, but every day is unique. There's always another day and a way forward.
Despite all the challenges, or maybe because of them, the Toombes family have an infectious can-do spirit.
I really focus on the positives and try to enhance the positives more than anything.
But even with the most positive of outlooks, does Caroline ever get scared of the regular demands of show jumping?
It's a big trade-off because it's dangerous. She does fall off. She has fell off a significant amount of times, but to stop her would be cruel. On balance, it's a huge element of her life and a huge driving force, and it makes her feel so good about herself. What parent wouldn't want that?